the more efficient the antenna becomes to a point. So, and the other thing that I found out is that the capacity hat, there's more value in having them be long and narrow than to be a mesh, and I was very surprised by that, because I thought it was a real eye-opening part of the learning vertical curve, because I had put, this massive chicken wire mesh up there, and I thought, wow, this is going to be the ultimate capacity hat. And then, just for fun, I compared that to stainless steel whips, and the stainless steel whips were 100 times better. Well, so the reason for that is that it's actually the length of the capacity hat that makes the difference. So if you had 4 long stainless steel whips compared to smaller of chicken wire, you would do multitudes better by using the stainless steel whips than you would by the chicken wire. It's not literally the capacitance to the other plate at the bottom. It is the distance between the feed point of the capacity hat and the ends. So it's a very interesting science. But anyway, I thought that was worth passing along also. N1BCG. What?
That was a for repeat. Well, no, don't repeat it for my sake. Good evening to the administration, by the way. Very, very, very interesting. The skin effect of thing is what I gleaned from that. The solid surface. It affects. So in making my point there, I think if I understood correctly, the more distance the capacitor plates on the isotron are, the less inductance, if I'm correct. Correct me, I don't think I'm quite right with that, but I mean, if I understood correctly. Just say yes or no on that, and then pick up the other stations.
I can't just give a yes or no. I think I need to add that I think that the isotron is not designed right because he used aluminum plates. I would not do that. I would use stainless steel whips because they'll be able to be longer end to end than the aluminum plates will be. And they'll allow you to reduce the size of the inductor much more effectively than using those aluminum plates. Okay, good evening. Wait for it. BTK.
What?
Hey, Bowie.
Howdy, y'all. Oh, crap. My receive muting relay is in, not muted mode. Hold on.
Sounds great here no matter what.
We collectively decided that we were going to crash your QSO, Clark.
I'm sorry, what? I had to walk out.
I said we collectively decided we were going to crash your QSO.
Yeah, you know why?
Devalue my QSOs to 0 whenever I key up, so if anyone does that, it doesn't bother me.
Oh, I have my whole station all whacked out. Hold on.
Ah, you've been taking tips from Brett.
And how was everybody else here?
You mean Brett's station is whacked out?
He said something about tearing it all apart or something like that, like a crazy man. If you search QRZ for the word Sawzall, I think you'll find his post.
Oh, very nice. That would be very weak. I don't know if there was somebody else breaking in there or not also. Yeah, he's an interesting guy to watch his posts. They're very interesting. I'm interested when Brett posts stuff.
Well, they are interesting. I just I wish I could find a way to get across the point that the tuner is like everything when it comes to K7DYY transmitters. But I haven't found the secret way of getting that point across.
I heard that conversation, and my question to you is, if you were to, I mean, you're telling me that thing's got to play into some kind of a tank circuit? I mean, what if you were to put a K7DYY into a dummy load? What would it do then?
No, it would, no. Think of it like this. The tank circuit on any transmitter basically matches whatever you have for a load to the amplifier. You know this. The K7DYY has no provision whatsoever for doing that, which means that the antenna tuner is an inseparable part of the transmitter. Like the K7DYY is not a complete transmitter unless it has an antenna tuner, because the antenna tuner is the output tuning circuit for the transmitter.
Okay, I get you. So you're saying that junction voltages and all that are on the edge of destruction?
Well, they get out of whack really quickly when you have reactance. I am sure that would, if you had a cantenna that was 40 ohms or 60 ohms, it would probably be fine. But once the reactance kicks in, now your voltages, the voltage swing on the output FET starts to go crazy, and it's exacerbated by the output, the toroidal output circuit. So, I got the gist of this back in the early 90s or mid 90s. Radio station I used to work at, and after I left, I was good friends with
Test.
Hey, we're getting a new solid-state transmitter. Do you want to come by one night and help me put it in? Well, I ended up buying a BE. It was, the first time I'd ever seen a kilowatt broadcast transmitter. Did you get the mind blower? It's like, really? This is the whole thing? But he ended up getting the tuner, which was sold separately as an accessory, and it too is a Class D design. This is 90s, and they were very clear by saying, it's very important that either your antenna is perfect, and at that radio station it was, and whenever it rained, the match would go to hell. The Collins transmitter, the A12 something or other, it didn't care, like most tube transmitters don't care. But even then, it had an output tuning circuit in it, but the BE did not. And so that's the role of the antenna tuner. So Brett says, yeah, well, he gets 1.4 to 1 SWR in his dipole, so it's not so bad. Stop. Yes, that's bad, because there's no tuner in the transmitter. That's really important. So hey folks, if you're thinking of getting a K7DYY, yes, it needs to see a perfect match, ideally. So if you have a tuner, you can do that. It's like no big deal, right? Okay, enough.
Thank you for that explanation, W2VW. Well, what are the specifications that K7DYY puts up? Does he give you a load phase angle or anything like you usually get with a broadcast transmitter?
No, I think his policy is if your match isn't good enough, you won't get the output power that you want. So, but the theory is if you put it into a good load, yeah, it'll do full legal limit. If you don't, then that's where the derating comes in.
Hey, Clark.
Yes.
How come if I drive my little LD Moss stupid solid-state crap brick amp with a plus 16 dBm signal on 80 meters, I get a watt out, but if I do the same thing on 20 meters, I get 6 watts out? Why is that?
Sounds like you're tuned circuits are too small. They're favoring 20.
It puts out even more on CB.
We're going.
No, it puts out 3 watts on CB, 6 watts on 20, and 1 watt on 40 and 80, with plus 16 dBm drive, which is like 30-something milliwatts or so.
Uh-oh, Clark got his pencil out.
No, I'm having dinner and trying to communicate with you guys at the same time and sound civil. Well, what's the frequency range of the amp?
1.8 to 50 megahertz. And it says right on the ad, key it till it megahertz. That's what I was doing all weekend.
All right. I don't know. I think that may simply have to do with the fact that it probably is. There's a limit to how broadbanded it can be, and they're probably favoring somewhere in the middle of its range. When you get to the edges, it'll drop off.
So how do I get more gain in the low bands there? He said it's centered on CB. It's not. It's centered on 20 meters. And there's a 270 Mickey Mike cap on the output side of the input transformer. And that supposedly is fine to give you a 2.0 or less SWR across the entire HF band. And there was nothing on the input side of the output transformer, but apparently you can add some puffage there to flatten down the output tune, but that's not really like that big of an issue. I haven't driven it with more than like 30 milliwatts, so I don't have any elements that read fine enough to like even be able to like tell my ass from my elbow with this thing. I'm just wondering why there's no damn gain on 80 meters and 40 meters, and I haven't even tried it on 160.
I have an idea. Put a T connector on the input of that amp and put an oscilloscopy, that's an oscilloscope for everyone else, on there, and see as you vary the frequency from the output of your signal generator, is it really driving the amplifier with the same peak-to-peak voltage, or is it dropping down? Maybe the input impedance is not right across that whole spectrum on the amp.
That's right. That's the problem right there.
There you go. Well, I still have yet to stick an attenuator in line to terminate the damn thing to 50 ohms like proper, or stick a tuner in line. I was just taking baseline measurements, going through the bands. I had a hell of a Saturday putting all that crap together, getting it to run. So I'm taking baby steps. Yeah, I don't know. I'll stick a tuner in front of it, something like that. I don't really know, but I was actually on the air with my vector signal generator, doing like, I don't know. I got the single LD MOS that's capable of like 1500 PEP, doing a whopping 1 watt into Big Blue, and yeah, I had a little piss weak signal with that thing. It was fun.
All right. Well, it sounds like you've got some ideas lined up, and it would be very interesting to hear the outcome.
You didn't tell Clark what happened in audio when the generator wasn't terminated.
Well, yeah, I had no audio bandwidth. It would fall off shortly after about 1.5 kilohertz audio, so I'd have about 3 kilohertz of usable bandwidth there, or not even. Really not even. I probably had a 1.5 kilohertz of usable bandwidth. The audio was dropping off around 700. And then I went up on 20 meters and I was like freaking wide as hell. And then in a dummy load, of course, I loaded up on 27 megahertz and it sounded freaking great. But on 80 meters, it's a,
Sounds like me.
Yeah. So as suggested, check to make sure that the signal generator isn't freaking out, depending upon the frequency driving the amp.
I'm pretty sure that's it. Whoa! People are playing the horn. Oh, that's Giant from Jack's hosting my stream with one viewer.
Cool. Yeah, that's a given, Clark. That amp that he's got, that MOSFET amp that he's got, that's a pretty cool amp. But the input circuit, it's pretty obvious that it's not presenting a 50 ohm J0 load down here, but it's fine up on 14 megahertz all the way on up to the industrial scientific medical band of 27 megahertz.
The ISM band. Yeah, apparently that's what that is. Oh, and Citizens Band. Bill, I'm a huge advocate of impedance bridges, and considering that I've found a circuit for one which had, seven parts in it, and I had them all in my parts drawers, it's very well worth building an impedance bridge, which basically compares whatever the output is that you connect it to a 50 ohm resistor. And it'll show you the difference in the two, whether it's impedance, reactance, whatever. Anytime that whatever the load is that you're putting under test shows any different characteristics than a 50 ohm resistor, it'll show that as deflection of a meter. And I use my impedance bridge all the time. If you want, I'll send you a schematic, but it's super simple. It's like 4 resistors, a diode, a capacitor, and some jacks for a meter, or you could build the meter into it. But like I said, very well worth it.
W2 very weak.
W2BTK. I said it all muffly before, so I'll say it again. That sounds good, Clark. I'd like to have that schematic. I'd build one of those. But I do have an MFJ antenna analyzer, 259B, which I think, like, if I could terminate, like, if I lift, the transistors up and just terminate to 50 ohms and pipe that thing in there, I think it could tell me a lot. I learned that in my CB days. I used to do it with the CB amps to check the input and output tune. It just works a little bit differently. It's like 2 transistors in one here, so I don't know if I need to... I just don't know how to terminate it properly at the output side of the input, you know what I mean? To run the MFJ in there and feep it.
Oh man, you're ready to rock. So what you do is you use the MFJ antenna analyzer as your VFO. This is fantastic. So set it to 14 megahertz, something in the middle, and connect the output of the antenna analyzer right to the input of your amplifier, and then just turn everything on. And look and see what the MFJ says is the exhibited impedance and reactance of the input, and then just start dialing around. Have a good wideband dummy load on your amp, and then you can sweep from 1.8 to 30 megahertz with the antenna analyzer, and you just take a note of what the amplifier input looks like.
Well, I did that already, and it was really, really bad all the way across the board. Even on the bands where it was performing pretty well and had like some decent gain, like brought 30 milliwatts up to 6 watts, it still kind of looked like crap.
How bad is bad?
20 to 1, 11 to 1, didn't really go below that. Crazy impedances all over the map. Nothing was 50 ohms, and reactance, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Your Honor, the prosecution rests its case.
Yeah, I would just jam an attenuator in there, at least 10 dB. You're never going to drive that thing with nothing anyway. You don't want to change what's there now. You might make the circuit unstable and it'll go... That's the problem with solid-state stuff when it blows up. It doesn't even explode. There's no flames. There's nothing. It just goes... And it might smell a little funny, or you might see a crack. If you get really lucky, a piece will go flying by your ear. But solid state generally is too boring when it blows up. So you don't want to do that. Stick an attenuator in there. You keep it stable. And if you accidentally overdrive it, it may not blow up.
All right, so that little brick attenuator I showed you a picture of, those are the cheapest option. You can get them in all kinds of flavors, like, 3 dB up to 30 dB. Or I could get like an inline coaxial attenuator that I know is like for real 50 ohms, but there's nobody in the United States of America selling those, at least on eBay. I guess I would have to go on like an RF parts type of site and crack my wallet, yo.
Nah. Use those. The ones you showed me are fine. You just need a heat sink for it, as you know, and that'll work just as well as a really nice Narda. I've got the set, and they're really expensive, those things. But hey, they're throwing it out.
Well, crap. I almost said the S word. I'm going to order one now. They're $30, as opposed to like the cheapest inline one I could find from China that I would probably get in September was like, $50.
What's the maximum drive in that thing supposed to be?
1 watt.
Jeez.
Oh, 1.5 watts if you're really feeling like, living dangerously with your $200 transistor.
Yeah, you're going to end up using something else for an IPA. I mean, that's a good amp, but it's not for that purpose. Yeah. You know what? When I get a little time, I'll look at that other hollow state device that we mentioned that's the same as the first one that had a problem with synchronization, and that might be the ticket.
Yeah, that's cool. I just need to bring up, a 0 dBm signal up to 400 watts PEP. However the hell it works, I don't know. That's what I need.
Yeah, you need a Harris HFL 1000 or a PAL 350 or a 500, but you never see those for sale. Right, Clark?
Or a Viking 2.
Ain't nothing in a Viking 2 that you would use as a linear amplifier. Ugh.
No. No. You use the Viking 2, you connect that signal generator to the crystal socket or to the, VFO input of the Viking 2, and then and so that's where it gets its RF source. Then you take the modulator, the audio input, and you connect that to your final modulator. So you're basically recreating CQAM. I mean, what the hell? Look at it. Broadcast transmitters aren't linear, and they can do CQAM stereo. It's the same thing.
No.
So hold on a minute here.
RF and audio output?
Not if he wants to make regular AM at low level with the signal generator. Now, if it's just... Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
I'm going to pull the trigger on one of these. What do you think? 10 dB? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 10, 20, and 30.
If it were me, I would buy a 3, a 6, and a 10, but that's me.
What is this?
I'm going to get a 6 dB attenuator there, Clark, 50 ohm attenuator.
Can I get the 10?
I thought attenuation was the last thing you need now. You're already having a problem with gain.
I need to terminate my inputs. I'm going to trick it. Be like, hey, look, here's 50 ohms signal generator. Ha ha ha.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't it be easier just to build a matching circuit? Just an inductor and a cap. You might even, an L match may work. That, and then because the problem with the attenuator is, sure, then the signal generator thinks that it's getting the right impedance, but now the problem is you lose 6 dB. You don't want to lose 6 dB. You want to take as much of the output as you can. I would try an L match, and if that doesn't do it, you can go T match, or you can get more sophisticated. But I would try that first, because I would bet you'd be able to. I'll bet you'd be able to match it. Oh, and use the MFJ to do the calculations. Start with like a series coil, and then a variable capacitor. Put it either at either the signal generator end or the amplifier input end, and then you'll find out which is whether one is higher impedance or the other. The cap's going to be at the higher impedance end. But by doing that, you'll be able to create a very efficient match. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, but what if I want to use a TS440 to drive it? And, like the input, it's like if you exceed a watt or a watt and a half, you're going to launch this thing across the room. So having an attenuator might not be a bad idea.
I thought you said that there's no way that signal generator is ever going to produce that kind of power.
But did you hear what I said?
Wait a minute.
Apparently not. You're saying if you put a watt into it, it's going to launch it across the room. Then you're saying it's like, the signal generator puts on next to nothing.
What he's got there isn't going to work, even if it is matched, because he's looking for something that's going to give you plus 16 dBm and give you 300 watts peak out. All right? So that ain't going to play. No matter what, it's the wrong amplifier for what he's trying to do. So no matter what, it's still not going to work. He's just looking for a quick way to get it up to capability. And I agree. I would use an L network. I said try an MFJ antenna tuner in there and see what it does. But he doesn't have a reflectometer that's going to work, so you'd have to tune it up with the tone and look at the waterfall.
Yep. I've got a little tuner I can stick in line, but I'm saying also, like, if I want to use this amp, and drive it with a rice box, I can turn the rice box down to a watt, but that's like about it. It's a little bit scary, you need an attenuator.
Oh, this is a different project now. So so I'm thinking the only thing that this amplifier is for the signal generator. Now you're saying you need an attenuator because you want to drive it with a rice box. Okay, that's different.
I want to be able to use the damn thing for more than just that. I have an interstage amp coming, and I told you about it. It's a little Chinese piece of crap. Takes 1 milliwatt. It's 40 dB gain. 1 milliwatt make 10 watts, right? 5 milliwatts makes like 40 watts or whatever. Maybe my math is wrong, but that thing is going to go in between everything, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to turn the signal generator way down to drive that little interstage thing so that makes like half a watt, and then drive the brick with that, and then hopefully I get on the air with the signal generator. But other than that, like, it's all like a lot of crap floating around for just that. I want to be able to use this brick amp with a rice box, so it's $30 attenuator is probably money well spent.
So this amplifier sounds like it's very unusual. What does the manufacturer think you're going to use to drive it?
Like a gnat's ass.
So like a QRP rig, that's what it's for? This is to convert your QRP rig into something significant?
Nah. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, these transistors weren't made for, like, radio stuff, I don't think. They're, just being used for that. Like, oh, hey, look at that. Made very, very popular by the CB community.
Yeah, but if it was made for CB, don't you think it would take like 4 watts and it wouldn't have that much gain? Whatever. All right. Listen, I think you've got, as I said before, I think you've got a handle on this. If you want to have an attenuator for, running your regular rice box into it, and Dave and I both agree that an L match to start with for matching the signal generator to it. You got your marching orders. Start getting creative.
Yeah, well, I'll build an L match. I've got a T tuner here that I can stick in line for now.
All right, well, that would work also. But the only problem is finding out when you've got a proper match. So, but anyway, yeah, if you put an oscilloscope, here's how you can do it. If you terminate that signal generator with whatever load it's supposed to see, whatever the hell that is, and you have a T connector, you put an oscilloscope on there, look at what the peak-to-peak voltage is. Then go through the tuner and fiddle around until you get the same peak-to-peak voltage, because theoretically that'll be a very close match.
It's 50 ohms, 0.4, 0.5 volts.
Well, you know what? SWR meters for running them at that low power. Yeah, well, anyway, good luck. I would put together that impedance bridge. You know what? I'm going to look for that circuit right now, and I'll send it to you. N1BCG.
You're going to be in a real part of the curve with your swerve meter with that. That's the thing. Because it'll what happens with the diodes when you run really low power. Hey, you know what will work for that, Billy? If you're going to make a network, you could use the TS440. You have to be careful, but TS440's SWR meter, when you're running like a half a watt, it's inaccurate, and it actually expands, so you get a much higher reading than you really have, and it's good for doing very fine tune-ups.
Hey, Dave, I think I got a solution here. Billy, use your MFJ. Go back to using that. Put the MFJ, take your MFJ, connect the antenna tuner to the output of that, connect the output of the antenna tuner to the amplifier, tune the frequency you want to operate at, and match it. And then you get your 50ZJ nothing, I guess, or the MFJ says X, whatever. You get your perfect match. Take the MFJ out, connect that to the signal generator. Bada bing, bada bum, you're done.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't promising. I had the MFJ pumped into it, amp into dummy load, and it was awful. Just god awful. Like, you might want to start from scratch with this thing. I mean, it's not good.
That's why you put the tuner in there. You use the MFJ to find out when the tuner is set correctly.
Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Pump the MFJ into the tuner, and the tuner into the amp, and the amp into a dummy load, and start farting around with the knobs on the front. I just got to find out which one is the echo knob, because I think that's was probably the most important thing when this thing was designed.
I couldn't.
Yeah, you got to have that echo knob adjusted right, or nobody's going to hear you.
Yeah. No, they told me that having echo helps you get out in DX land.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, and that's why when you're on the CV, you have to say everything 2 or 3 times. I said it 2 or 3 times. Because you know you're not being heard. What?
Hey, W2VW. Hey, W2VW. Oh, W2VW. I heard it all. Because you said it all. W2VW, W2BTK, W2BTK, W2BTK. Did I do it right?
You didn't contact me on Pal Talk first to set up a politic situation where everything is planned in advance, and we'll pretend we don't hear anybody else.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Billy. Hi, Clark. N2MDX.
Hi, Mikey.
He's got 9 minutes left.
Don't strain yourself too hard there, Billy. You might pop something.
Mikey doesn't sound like that.
Oh, I can't even get that low. Hi.
That's how I say hi to Mikey. Hi, Mikey!
Kind of effeminate, but you're okay with it.
Happy about it.
He puts his vice on his nuts, and he does that for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I don't care about being effeminate. How do you say that word anyway? Is it like Connecticut? I can't say that either. But in the summer months, I sit on my balls a lot.
I think you might have you just might have a problem. When's the last time have you been for, you've been checked out, right? I mean, all your parts are in the right place?
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They just, it gets hot and humid outside, and they get to sagging, and that's that.
You ain't even 50 years old yet. You don't know anything about that.
There's an awful show called Curb Your Enthusiasm, like total, clown world liberal show, but like they had the one episode where they were calling him Long Ball Larry, like, and he had all these issues, and it was really funny.
Yeah, that's Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Hello.
She said that, Dave.
Yeah. Hey.
Howdy.
You got 7 minutes left, Billy.
See, that's the thing. I don't feel like getting off the air now. I'm just getting warmed up.
It works, Mikey.
Yeah. It's good.
The adjustment is good. Doesn't need any adjustment. AM.
Over.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So, Mikey.
Yeah, what's up, Dave?
What are you doing, man? You got that DXCC yet?
Did you look at my QRZ, man?
How far are you away from DXCC?
I don't know, man. Take a look, brother. Take a look. Go see. Go look. Look what I've been doing.
It doesn't show me all that much. I can see, like, your latest QSOs, and whatever awards you applied for. I really don't see. I don't think I see what you see.
Can you see what I can see?
We can't see how close you are to DXCC. We can see the awards that you have, and we can see the past, 10 people that you worked in your logbook.
Yeah. I don't want to see what you see, because there's like pink elephants going on over there.
Did you work all 5 bands for that, Dave?
What do you mean, all 5 bands?
I supposedly for, what is it, DXC? It says 5 band DXCCs for, I don't know. Maybe I read it differently.
I told you many times, I avoid 20 meters. It's a zoo, especially on FT8, because there's a lot of newbies on there that don't know how to find a clear frequency. And it's stupid. I don't want to be any part of that, so I avoid 20. Although I have been on 20, just checking stuff out. So I do have some cues on there, and I probably do have like 2 countries that I don't have on any other bands. But most of my stuff is either going to be 160 or 10 meters with an occasional 80 and 40 thrown in. And a couple weekends ago, I was hot and heavy on 30, which was a whole hell of a lot of fun. And with a very smattering of the other bands. Very little.
Most of it's 20 for me, and I love to barrel with these guys, man. It's pretty cool. And 20 meters FT4.
Yeah, I haven't used FT4 yet. I may keep it that way.
No, it's quick. 6-7 second turnaround is really nice.
Yeah, but you lose all kinds of like decode out of the noise capability with that.
You know what's crazy, Billy? There's times where I don't even hear these signals coming back to me. I don't hear them, but I see them pop up, and I'm like, wow. And I go to work them, and I work them. And I don't even see them on the little waterfall, and you don't hear them. It's crazy.
If you want to hear the most Nat's ass stuff out of the noise, use JT9 if you can find anyone still doing that. That is the best way to decode at like below -20.
Have you used WSPR, Billy?
Yeah, that's excessive.
You don't like it because of the amount of turnaround?
Yeah, and there's not as many people using it either.
Yeah, there were. Last time I was fooling with that, I was able to work ZL a full 2 years after I was able to work ZL on 10 meter AM. 2 years later, after the last ZL disappeared, was able to work them on Whisper.
Is that like you finished the first contact and then 2 years later you were able to make another?
Well, anyway, the point is that the band was very stone dead, quote unquote.
Yeah, no, I know. Whisper's cool. I just haven't done it a lot. Like I called CQ on Whisper like 100 times and nobody came back to me. And then I got an FT8 and I made like 50 contacts in an hour.
The FTA crowd cares less about when you last showered.
You should have called the Tommy Help Desk.
Probably. You know, there's people that could have used his help. They were all having a big debacle about the RTL SDRs the other night, and I was like, man, if Tommy was here, he would set these guys straight.
He shows up in waves. He's parenting now.
Yeah, that's very cool. My younger brother is, too. He's got a newborn baby boy. Very, very handsome baby.
Congratulations. That's great. Gonna get him a ham license.
Man, if it's around when he's old enough.
Well, people like you don't do your thing. It won't be around, but you got work to do.
Yeah, my job really cramps my style, you know?
I know, you got 45 seconds left and you got to get off the air.
Put another quarter in.
I'm part of keeping Billy up past his bedtime because he's got to get up at, what do you get up at, like 3:45?
Yeah, that's when the alarm starts going off.
Yeah. At least you're home, you know, and it's light out for 3 hours after you're home, so that part's good. In the winter, that's not good.
What a tenderfoot. I used to do Saturday morning 6 to 10 a.m. on one.
Listen to this guy.
Saturday night 7 to midnight on another. How much sleep do you think I got?
Yeah.
By doing what?
Whatever I wanted. It was the best gig ever.
Yeah. By picking up 4-inch conduit on a lift up in the air where it's hot, wearing a tether and a groin cup and all kinds of other crazy personal equipment.
A groin cup. Boy, that sounds thrown into the argument.
Yeah, they provide, pepperoni flavored dental dams for us, you know, as part of our PPE. We got to have them in our mouth.
What was that, pepperoni in your mouth?
All right. I'm signing off. Good night, folks. It's been fun. Thank you, Clark. Thanks, George, if you're still there. Mikey, Billy, and Billy, if you're on the air in another 5 minutes, I'm calling your mom. W2VW.
And by the way, Dave, I need another 226 for my DX100.
I was going to hang out until 8 o'clock, and then, you know, that's it. I'll go straight to bed. No internet, no nothing.
I think you should set up a remote place on your bedside table. Then you can operate, and then you'd be in bed also.
And then I'd get nightmares.
Oh, hell yeah. Talking on ham radio and then immediately going to sleep. Big time nightmares. Yeah. The night of the 40-foot ham radio operator. There's Billy going to the ham fest, and suddenly he's surrounded by these gigantic megaloth mobility scooters and these overweight ham radio operators. And then everywhere they go, they're racing towards getting those $5 SWR meters, and Billy always finds himself in between them and the table, waking up in a cold sweat. What a horrible thing.
Yeah, that's punishment. Not there's no reason to do that. I'm gonna stay out here for 15 more minutes. We'll do a 1 hour stream. All right, that'll make it an even hour because it's been 45 minutes and 57 seconds.
And then just as things calm down and Billy thinks it's okay, all of a sudden over the PA system, ladies and gentlemen, there's free food for all ham radio operators attending the Ham Fest. Free food right now. Just step up to the concession stand. No charge. Free food. And all of a sudden he hears all these engines of the mobility scooters rev up. And the next thing you know, he's being chased down by these 40-foot high ham radio operators, peeling out, some of them pulling wheelies. Oh, man. I would say you'd probably eBay all your ham stuff the following day.
And there you are.
It's Mr. Bell! But seriously, Clark, on my feet for 10 hours, up on a lift, lifting heavy-ass conduit, trying to, make it, hustle because, they'll just get rid of you. If they catch you one time, not working hard, you're out of there. You got to wear 1 million pounds of PPE equipment, tethers, cut level 5 gloves, masks, glasses with foam on them, hard hats. It's hot. It's 20 degrees hotter up where you're working than it is on the floor where the guy watching you what's the problem? It sucks. I bust when I get home, I'm about ready to collapse. I'm 34 years old, and it kicks my freaking ass, this job. So if I lose a little bit of sleep during the week, the next day I am screwed. So, I don't know if you've ever had a job like that.
You know what? I would go get yourself a t-shirt. On the front it says, I am not the llama, and have a Winamp logo on the back. You know what? Here's how you can make it better for yourself. Tomorrow, well, you won't have time, but one day come into work wearing stilettos and go through the whole day. And then the next day, wear your normal work boots. Boy, you'll feel great.
I would immediately get kicked off site. You have to have safety toe, crazy boots on, and they check that stuff.
That would be sexual discrimination because you are the gender fluid electrician.
Yeah, well, they also have anything they can think of. They want to lay you off.
Just claim discrimination and that'll stop them.
Yeah, then you'll never work again. That's not how it works.
Tell them you're a cancel culture organizer. Then they'll stay away.
There are so many restrictions and rules and this and that. It's impossible to follow them all. And if you raise a stink, there are so many things they can throw the book at you with. You're just done.
How is this the complete opposite of the Postal Service, where you can do anything you want and you can never be fired?
God, this sounds like my job. Continue.
Mikey knows. He does this crap too. He just does it under 50 volts.
Dude, let me tell you something. It's getting worse at my company. I used to work 5 days a week, maybe about 9 hours, coming and going and whatnot. Now it's 11 hours by the time I get home. Times that by now 6 days, mandatory Saturdays. I used to have the weekends. They took it away from me. And I can't say a goddamn thing, and it's just, you don't know the stress. Oh my God. Dude, Monday did 9 service calls, the next day 8, then 7, then 8, and then 8. And Saturday, my day of 8 service calls, bro.
Yeah, and the days that you did 7, they're like, well, what happened? You did 9 the other day. Well, what the hell? Like, you're slacking off.
Well, it's supposed to be 6, and so I asked my manager, my supervisor, so what's going on with the calls? I thought we were allow us to maybe sell things, because they want us to sell more equipment to the customers. So, you're not giving me that room to do that. He goes, well, the overflows, what's happening with the overflow? You guys are getting too many jobs. I said, well, aren't you watching this?
Have you guys taken this up with your shop steward?
I did, yeah, and it seems like it's a losing battle. Tomorrow is our union vote. Guess what I'm voting?
We don't have a shoppy. He got laid off, Clark.
How in the world does a shop steward get laid off? I thought that was impossible.
The project manager, comes to the job with a check in his hand, and he says, get the hell out of here.
Man, then where are the Teamsters?
Teamsters? Dude, this is small ball. Local 102 gave away the airport, little jobs here and there. You sit on the book for 6 months, and then, everybody who comes out on the job, puts their dental dam in it. Oh, yes, sir, right away, sir, yes, sir, because they want to pay their mortgage. It's it's union work, but there's not enough of it. There's too many guys. It's really sad. But the lucky thing is, I can go anywhere in the country and sign into other locals and work, because they actually have work. It's just the local that I'm in is the second highest paid in the U.S.
Boy, you just gave me an idea for a radio station. Local 102. Local news, local weather, local sports, local traffic, and the best music. Local 102.
Wait, I'm sorry, third highest.
For local 3, W2VW.
Yeah, it's San Francisco, then local 3 New York, then us.
Local 3, now that would be a good TV station.
Hello, Billy. And everybody out there. Just come hang some ductwork. Hey, Billy, just keep, round rods up there, those conduits up high over my ductwork now. And don't be having it in my ductwork way.
What are you doing, Dad?
Yeah, Daryl, that's right. TGIF, right? Tin goes in last, but that's not the way it is anymore. All these GCs are like, hurry up, get it in. So, there's ductwork, and there's ductwork in there 2 weeks into the job, and what the hell are you supposed to do? It's just the trades suck now. It just sucks.
Yeah, you get these GCs. They was carpenters, and then they make them GCs, and they really don't care about the electricians, the ductwork. All they think about, get the studs up in there, get the sheetrock up first, let the studs get those stupid hangers up with the pencil rods poking me in my back and head.
Yeah, they make it impossible for you to install anything, and then they want to know why it's not done. And then they back charge you.
Oh, yeah. Those pencil rods, I just bit them right out my way.
Oh, you're the guy.
Oh, yeah, we're going to back charge the 10 officers. They bent up all our rods up there. Oh well, the 10 should be in first.
No. 10 goes in last. TGIF.
All right.
No, you're right. 10 goes in first. But the GCs are so screwed up, it goes in last.
I know. Well, guess what? We put ours up and we had to take it back down for them. So then we back charged them.
Oh, yeah, but, dude, in the kind of job I'm on, we can't even pop a panel cover without talking to 30 friggin' people from the customer and this and that and doing all these scheduled shutdowns and this. Like, they won't let you do anything. Like, it's, imagine doing a normal construction job with one hand tied behind your back.
Ah, accountability.
They don't trust anybody.
Well,
It's not the norm, you know. You hire a professional electrician to come do electrical work, but you won't let him do it.
Hey, you get those stupid, corny training videos from OSHA?
OSHA would be like, you guys are so obsequiously compliant, like, we don't need to be here. You know, like, the rules that we made, you've surpassed 5 times over. So, like, at this point, like, it's obviously just for insurance money. Because it's like, the amount of safety stuff that's there is actually making it less safe. Like, zero mobility, you can't see anything, you can't breathe, you got so much safety crap strapped to you that, like, you just can't do anything. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we watch some really corny, stupid training videos on stuff that we know for the past 20-some odd years, but yet they need to still drill it into our minds like little children. N2MDX, hello, Daryl. Yeah, Bill.
I'm trying to wind down. I got to get out of here in 4 minutes.
oh, a new bar. I thought it was 14 minutes ago.
No, I've been in QSO for 57 minutes and 15 seconds, so, you know, it's actually more like 2 minutes and 47 seconds right now.
What happened at 8 o'clock?
Well, it is what it is. I'm going to stream for an hour tonight. I'm at the 57 minute and 35 second mark.
So many numbers. N1BCG, there you got another one.
W2BTK.
N2MDX.
Meanwhile, George got kicked to the curb an hour ago. Sorry about that, big guy.
Oh, he's long gone.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I tried to have a low-key Sunday stream, but I got all worked up.
What was the low-key stream going to be?
Like, having fun with my friends, not thinking about work until 3:45 tomorrow morning.
Well, that was Dave who did that, so you can send him the, the black greeting card.
Nah. Dave was talking about, amplifiers and stuff.
No, he was getting you worked up on purpose. Remember the part where he was talking about your bedtime?
He's texting me right now saying, go to sleep, get off, you're not getting any dessert.
You got your ham radio, Dad. That's so cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, what a whole new way of looking at things. I heard of mentors, but a ham radio dad? That takes things to a whole new level. Oh, I feel a Quarles head thread coming on.
Don't they?
No, Clark. No, that's it. The title will be Beyond Elmering, Ham Radio Dads.
Clark, I thought you were my ham radio dad.
BCG is Bill Case's grandpa.
Oh, that's right. You're my grandpa.
Yes, sir. That's correct, sir. Come here, Billy. Let me show you about ham radio.
Yeah, that's it. I just don't. You know what? Wait a minute. Let's do the math. 30, huh? Yeah, you know what? If I were reckless in college, you actually might be my kid. Now I gotta think about stuff.
No, my dad's name is Chuck. He's cool. But on that note, look, I got to get out of here. I got to wake up early and put all my stupid safety gear on and go up in a lift and, like, lift heavy conduit and get 2 days of work done in a day because that's just, like, what everybody expects. And, you get treated like a subhuman by the people walking around in this place. So I guess I'll see you later. This is W2BTK. I'm signing off for the night. I gotta go work tomorrow.
You know, the adoption agency said that a whole new fabricated story would be created and I'd have no right to my son, etc., etc. So, Chuck, is that the best they could come up with? Okay.
Bye, W2BTK.
Were you burn again?
Are you trying to keep me on the air, Clark? That's irresponsible. What if I'm so tired tomorrow that I, miscalculate one of the many dangerous things that I have to do tomorrow and, get really hurt? 1985. W2BTK. See ya.
You're going to get him hurt on the job, Clark.
Then in your honor, I will drop N1BCG and I'll apply for W2BTK. So I will be like a living monument to your life. You know what's scary about 1985? I remember being in the basement of D-Complex with Noelle, and she was hot. But anyway, I digress, because it was either that or Sue. There was Debbie. There was Lisa. Wasn't great? Okay. Anyway. Well, Billy's leaving, so we can change the topic now.
All right, y'all. Nice little short stream. I didn't do a stream last night. Sorry about that. I was working on amps and running around like a madman doing projects and this and that. So, nice little low-key Sunday stream for you. We're back to work tomorrow. I don't have a lot of free time during the week. So, who knows? I might do a weekday stream, but it's going to be something short like this, you know? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, those are the big nights. Usually for the streaming, I try to do like 5-hour streams, man. So look for that. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with me on a Sunday. It's been fun, but I gotta go the hell to sleep so I can wake up and not be half dead when I go try to do all this crazy crap I gotta do tomorrow. So, peace out, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Check out the YouTube. Not that I really have a whole lot of new content up there, but you watch the streams from this weekend. They got 2 5-hour streams up there for you. So, if you weren't around, you didn't catch those, you can catch them on YouTube. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Oh, and I mentioned the Discord. When I'm not streaming, you can always hop into Discord, and there's a good group of guys in there. Have fun, chat, talk about ham radio, this and that. So you might find enjoyment in that. You find a link down below somewhere. You click about or something like that. But Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Peace.